Should you get a plastic or glass bottle? As a new mom, I was stuck in the middle on what to get, so I got them both and I tried them both. So let me tell you the pros and cons of each one and help you decide which one to get. And also too, I do have both of these bottles and everything I talk about listed in the description in my Amazon affiliate links. So definitely check them out if you're interested in getting one of them, because I can definitely assure you these are worth the investment. So let's talk about the materials. Glass one obviously is the best in that category, just because of the fact that it's made out of glass. It's not going to release any toxins or anything, so it's a very clean option to choose. Now the baby bottles these days are BPA free, so you do have that going for you, but for me, I just feel like anything that has to do with plastic and you're heating it up, it's going to leach some kind of chemical or something like that. So one or two options you can do is heat up in the glass bottle and put it into the plastic, or just refer to the glass bottle at that chance. It's just something that you want to keep in mind when you're heating up liquids in each bottle. Now when you're heating up these bottles, definitely something to keep in note is the heat of the bottle. Now when it gets hot, it's hot. It is hot to touch. Now, it didn't bother me too much because all I had to do is just maybe switch it over to a new bottle, or my baby wasn't holding it, so I didn't worry about little hands touching it. But as my baby got older, it was getting way too hot to touch. Simple solution for that is getting a silicone sleeve for it, which is very simple to do. It took me forever to make that decision, and I'm glad I finally did. I wish I did it when my baby was little small, but really simple. You can just, that's how to get around it. And if the baby wants to hold it by the handles, that's something you can think of. The plastic bottles, you don't have to worry about that too much. It's not too hot. You can hold it and you're not having to worry about the heat of it. It doesn't retain the heat the same way as the glass bottle does. From what I understand also as well, the plastic bottle does warp over time. So I will say that is something to consider when you're using the bottles over and over and heating it over and over again. The glass bottle, you don't have to worry about. What I'm pleasantly surprised about the glass bottle too is that I have used this several times already and washed it, heated it up, and the markings on the bottle has not faded at all. Not even like as if I got this yesterday, but I've been using this for 6 months now. The same thing with this bottle as well. This is the bottles, and it's still as if it's brand new, and I use this quite often when I'm traveling. So the one thing that I will say is that glass bottles, they can break. Let's be real. I broke one on my countertop before. It just so happened to drop like this and it broke it completely. So that is something that you have to keep in mind if you have a granite countertop or anything like that, or you drop it on the ground, it's gonna shatter. So one thing you can get away with is with the silicone sleeve that helps it with the impact. But there's just some with it, if it falls like this, there's just a chance it's gonna break. That's just the reality, especially if you take it on the go. So my solution was to get the plastic bottle. I didn't have to worry about my baby dropping it or it dropping on the ground when I'm trying to put the food in it. So if it falls, it's not going to break. So that's something to consider if you are going on the go. Get a plastic bottle instead of the glass one. So with these bottles, I would say superbly the glass bottle doesn't have much odor. It doesn't retain the odor actually. You can clean it pretty easily, sterilize it, and not have to worry about it smelling. I do notice that it can hold a scent to it over time, especially since I was using formula. If it sits in there for a while, you start to smell it. So just to keep in mind of that. Now, the one thing that I wish was different, but you can't avoid that, is how heavy it is. My baby is about 7 months old now and is now learning to hold the bottle, but cannot hold this bottle at all. It's just way too heavy for him. And even with the silicone sleeve and the handles, he cannot support this. And it's going to be a few months before he can hold it himself. But when we're out and about, and he has no problem holding it, even with 6 ounces of liquid, no problem, and no problems at all. So I've been thinking about heating up the formula, the breast milk in here, and then putting it in here to teach him how to hold the bottle on his own. So that's just something to consider if you're looking to, how heavy it is a question. Now, I would say this is more of an investment. I would say it's glass, so it's more material. So it is an investment, but it does last a long time. I'm planning on using this for my next kids. So I'm very glad I made this investment. It does last a while. This one is not disappointing at all. So far, I haven't had any issues, and I think it's going to last for the next few babies. The warping is not an issue here. I wash it pretty often, but not an issue, but it can be a thing. So, but I can definitely guarantee that this will last a longer than this one. So baby preference is going to be the number one thing that you're going to have to consider when presenting a baby bottle to your baby. There's no telling what they'll like and not like, especially if you invest in things and they just don't care for it. I know for sure the Philips Advent bottles came with this nipple, and it was a size 3 nipple. It came with even the 4-ounce bottles, and this was just way too much of a flow for my baby, especially with my baby being a preemie. This was just too much, too fast, and it was just not good. So even with this one, the Lenshona, I can never say that right, even came with a very fast flow nipple. So what the good thing about both of these bottles, regardless of what you choose, you can switch out the nipples if it's a wide neck nipple. So I eventually decided to go with the even flow, the lowest setting flow that they had available, because my baby was a preemie, and I just wanted to make sure that it was a good flow for them. So I just swapped out both nipples. The Lenshona nipple wasn't bad, it just was a little too fast, and since I like these so much, my baby liked them, I just never bothered switching them out, even though they could go different size and a different flow. So I just personally went with that. But that's the good thing about these little rims here, is that you can switch it out for a different baby bottle nipple if you needed something different or your baby prefers something different. But other than that, I went with both options. The glass one I have at home, and the plastic I have on the go. That's just what works for me, and I highly recommend going with one of those two options. Again, the Amazon affiliate link is at the bottom. I put different glass bottles and plastic bottle options to choose from, and some nipple options to choose from that they pass the triangle test, as you would say. So definitely look into it.